Hello children. So today we are going to start chapter 17, our agriculture. Okay, our agriculture. So when the word agriculture comes, it means it is related to crops, vegetables, fruits, livestock. Livestock means animals and cattle rearing. Okay, these things, dairy farming, these things comes in our agriculture. So in this chapter we are going to study everything about agriculture. Okay, now if you see here, agriculture or farming refers to the cultivation of land to produce crops. Agriculture also includes livestock rearing and fishing also. So in agriculture, not only the crops or fruits or vegetables, farming animals, then cattle rearing, then fishing, everything comes in that, where the people are engaged with the occupation. Now, see in point 1, about 60% of India's population is engaged in agriculture. They are totally attached with the agriculture, mainly in the villages. In India, the fertile northern plains, the deltas of the coastal plains, and some parts of the plateau regions are good for agriculture activities. Now, children, if you remember, because we have done the northern plains, coastal plains, and plateau regions, there we studied which type of crops according to the climate people are growing. Okay, so depending on the type of soil and climatic conditions, different crops grown in different states of India. So when here comes the point how to grow the or which types of crops to grow, it depends upon two things: type of soil and climatic conditions. Now agriculture also provide us food, raw materials for various industries, and fodder for cattle. Now agriculture provides us food. Food means food crops, raw material means cash crops, and various industries and fodders for cattle. These things you will study in detail in this chapter only. India also exports many crops like tea, coffee, rice, and spices in other parts of the world. Okay, now mainly we are having two types of crops. According to the seasons, we divide the crops into two parts: Kharif crops and Rabi crops. Now Kharif crops. Kharif means autumn. Okay, Kharif season starts with the arrival of monsoon in India. This season is given the name Kharif because its harvest coincides with the autumn season in India. So, can you see here? Season, in which season we sow the crops and in which season we harvest. In June and July, farmers sowing the seeds in the fields, and in the month of October November they harvest the crops. Now which crops? Bajra, jowar, paddy, maize, pulses, groundnut, cotton, soybean, sugarcane, and turmeric. And these crops need lot of water. These crops need lot of water to grow. Okay, children. Now, if I move on to Rabi crops, Rabi means spring season. Okay, so this season is given the name Rabi because its harvest coincide with the spring season. So, Rabi crops are generally sown in the month of October and November and harvested in February and March. And which crops we are growing? Wheat, barley, mustard, sesame, and peas. Okay, and these crops are irrigated with water from the wells, lakes, and rivers. It means they need water but not lot of water like Kharif crops. Understood, children? Now you know, now you come to know the seasons in which we grow the kharif crops and in which season we grow the rabi crops. So that's why we say that according to seasons we divide the crops into two parts, kharif crops and rabi crops. Okay, kharif related to monsoon season and rabi related to which season? What I said, spring season. Okay, I hope this much is clear. Now see, major crops. Now after the seasonal crops, again we can divide the crops into different things. Now see, a variety. If food and non-food crops are grown in different parts of the country, depending upon variation in soil, climate and cultivation practice. Already I told you. Now major crops grown in India. Now which they are divided into grains, then other than grains and non-food crops. Now grains. For the grains, which crops? The first group is rice, wheat, millets, maize and pulses. Food crops other than grains. Here the grains are not there, but they are also food crops. Sugarcane, oil seeds, tea, coffee and horticulture crops. Now, non-food crops, or you can say plantation crops, rubber, fiber crops, cotton and jute. So, after the Kharif and Rabi crops, it means the major crops again divided into three parts: food crops, then cash crops, and then plantation crops. Okay, children. I hope this much is clear. In the next session, I will explain you about the three different types of crops which are also known as major crop groups. Okay, thank you children. I'll continue in the next session.